Welcome back. I'm Roger Idaho, and this is Learn Guitar in 90 Days, our podcast guitar course. Welcome back. Today's lesson, we're going to learn our first chord progression. So before we get too far into it, we'll do a tuning. Always good to make sure your instrument is tuned. There we go. Quick tuning never hurts. So today we're going to do our first chord progression. Chord progression is where we put a series of chords together and play them in order, in rhythm. Our first progression today is going to be the G chord followed by the C chord and then the D chord. We've learned all three of those in previous lessons, returning to the C chord and finishing back where we started with the G chord. That means we're going to put our capo over at fret 7 and we're going to recall those three chords. Well, we're going to start with the G chord and recall that the G chord is your first finger on the second string at fret 8, your second finger on the fourth string at fret 9, and your third finger on the fifth string at fret 10. Hopefully by this point in the course you've had a few days to practice that chord, and hopefully you can now play the full chord. Similarly, in our last lesson, we learned the C chord. The first two strings at fret 8 with your first finger, fret 9 the second finger on the third string, and fret 10 the third finger on the fourth string. So there's our G chord, and there's our C chord. And then we're going to play the D chord. And that D chord is just your third finger on the 10th fret. Play the first four strings. Our first chord progression. Let's turn our metronome on and play along with it. We're at 65 beats per minute. Hopefully we can keep that tempo up. If it proves to be a little quick for you on your changes, by all means step it down to 40 so that you have plenty of time to make those chord changes. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're strumming our G chord, 2, 3, 4. And our C chord, 1, 2, 3, 4. And our D chord, 2, 3, 4. C chord. And back to G. Very good. Now that may prove to be a bit quick for a first attempt at a chord progression. By all means, switch that metronome back down to 40 if you need to. Even slower, whatever it takes to play along with it and make your changes in time. That means that you're going to strum 2, 3, 4, and we make a chord change. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now our D chord. 2, 3, 4. Our C chord. 3, and back to G. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And back to G. 2, 3, 4. Very good. So you can by all means take that metronome down as slow as you need it to go in order to be able to make those chord changes as you're practicing. That will be all there is to that chord progression, and that will take you some time to get those changes smooth and start to speed it up. You'll have a few days to practice this chord progression before we move on to our next one, and in the meanwhile we'll continue to do our finger exercises as well as learn and review all the chords that we've taken so far. Thanks for stopping by today. I'll leave you to spend 20 minutes or so practicing what we learned today, and given that it's a tough progression for a first progression, maybe you might take a half an hour today, a half hour tomorrow before you take your lesson tomorrow, and just work your way through those chords and those changes. Be sure to like and share our YouTube channel and Facebook page, and you can always email me at rogeridaho@gmail.com. Kids, if your parents have given you these lessons, be sure to thank them. The best way to thank them is to keep up your practice and make progress on the course on a daily basis. Parents, thank you, and remember to have fun with your kids while they learn. This is Roger Idaho wishing you all the best until next time. Come back. See you soon.